joined by Megan Lueck, the head women's basketball coach at St. Olaf. Coach, how are you doing? And thank you so much for your time.
I'm great, Gavin. Thanks for having me. We got some snow here in Minnesota today. It just hit yesterday, and so yeah, we're dealing with the weather a little bit, but can't complain too much.
Well, it's already snowing there in Minnesota. Does it usually, snow, in October or we're in November? Does it usually snow this early?
Yeah, usually it depends on the year. So we've had a really good fall so far, but this is about the time where it starts to come down. So only about a half an inch though, so we can't
Okay.
complain too much. But yeah, it makes it a little bit tougher to drive to work and those sorts of things. And all good though. No complaints over here.
Yeah, we've been in a drought here in Connecticut. I believe in like New Jersey, they've had like brush fires, but I think today it's actually raining, so we need that. So we're also
Nice.
dealing not snow, but we're dealing with some rain, some weather, and so we're getting rain, which we need. So that's good.
Awesome.
Can you tell me a little bit about your college, St. Olaf College, you mentioned you're in Minnesota.
We are, yeah. We're located in Northfield, Minnesota, just about 35, 40 minutes outside of the Twin Cities. Our town is about 20 to 25,000 people, so kind of a medium-sized town here. To me, it's a perfect location. I grew up in a town really similar to Northfield, Winona, Minnesota, which is about an hour and a half away from here. And so I
Okay.
think it's great. We have both St. Olaf College, where I coach, and then Carleton College in town here, which is fun and kind of unique to have two Division III schools that compete against each other right in the same town. But really fun rivalry, really good high academic schools, both of them are. And so yeah, we're lucky to have that competition right here in town. But we are a high academic school, and so students who choose to come here take their academics very seriously. And for us throughout the recruiting process, that's absolutely something that we look for to try and get the right student athletes that understand just the academic rigor of our school and really want that and want to prepare for their life after basketball.
So you're from Minnesota, as you mentioned. I believe you're from Winona, Minnesota. So you spent the last 6 seasons as an assistant coach at South Dakota State University. So given that you're from Minnesota, what did it mean to you to come back to Minnesota and become the head women's basketball coach at St. Olaf? Back in July, what did that mean to you to be named the head women's basketball coach at St. Olaf and just return to Minnesota?
Yeah, so much. I really enjoyed my time at South Dakota State. I got to work with some wonderful people, and our student athletes there were just incredible and really fun to be a part of or to be around. But for me, getting to come back home is so awesome because you get to have so many friends and family at the game and supporting your team, which is really cool. And getting to be back in the Minnesota basketball scene and connecting with old coaches and old players or and old friends, whoever it might be, has been extra special there too. And to me, St. Olaf, I just think is a phenomenal place. When you're looking to make the move into becoming a head coach, you kind of look around and ask yourself if you believe that school can be successful. And we've already had so many programs here at St. Olaf be successful, athletic programs. Most recently, last year, our men's soccer team won a national championship. And so
Okay.
we look around and see that we have all the pieces that we need to keep our team moving forward for sure.
Mhm. So as I mentioned, prior to, coming to St. Olaf, this season, he spent the last 6 seasons as assistant coach, at South Dakota State University. There, he led South Dakota State to 5 Summit League, regular season titles, 3 Summit League, tournament titles, and 6, postseason appearances. So just, overall, just tell me, how were your, 6 seasons, at South Dakota State University and just, these accolades like winning, tournament titles and making it to postseason. What did that mean to you, and what was that like at South Dakota State?
Yeah. So many people there became like family and really close friends to me on that team, of course, but then within that athletic department, it's a really special place where people truly care about each other and want people to be successful. The success that you mentioned is so much a credit to one, our coaching staff, our head coach especially. He's done a great job and he's been there for I think 24 or 25 years now. And so consistency definitely starts with him, and he's done a great job there for sure. But student athletes are so much a part of it. You have to find the right people who are dedicated to showing up every day, caring about each other, embracing whatever role it is that they're given. And we had a lot of student athletes that chose to show up and give their very best effort every single day, day after day, and play hard no matter the scoreboard or no matter the situation. And so as a coach, you feel lucky to get to coach people like that. And it was really fun to be a part of that. And now here at St. Olaf, I also feel really lucky to coach some unbelievable student athletes that really care about what they're trying to do. And as a coach, you just want to do the best that you can to put them in a good spot to be successful. And when you have players that already want to show up and want to work hard and want to treat each other the right way, you feel really lucky to be in that spot for sure.
Yeah, and also at South Dakota State, you led them to the Sweet 16 in 2019, and then you led South Dakota State to be the first team to go unbeaten in conference play in back-to-back seasons. So just these incredible accolades. What did they mean to you as assistant coach?
Yeah. So that was my first season there at South Dakota State. We went to the Sweet 16, and a lot of your success has to do with the recruiting the right players year after year. And so, I credit that a lot to the coaches that were there before me, and obviously the players that were there before me, and feel lucky that I got to be a part of that. And hopefully, I did my part in getting us there. But so much of that was because of wonderful players that decided to go there, wonderful coaches that did a great job of getting those players there and helping develop their skills. But for me, getting to be a part of the Sweet 16 there was so special to see how it impacted our players, but also our community. So there, Brookings, South Dakota, I think is again similar to Northfield, 20,000, 25,000 people. But so many people within that state just really love that team and care about that team and support that team. And to see the success that we've had and how it impacts other people, whether it's young girls who are watching the sport and cheering for the sport, young girls and young boys that are supporting it, whether it's people who live in the town and just want to come out and have something positive to do on a Tuesday or Thursday night or whatever it might be. That was one of the best experiences because you could see just the positive impact that it had on other people as well. So
Mhm.
that and then we were lucky to win the WNIT or fortunate to win the WNIT when I was there, I think in 2022 as well, if I remember correctly. And just seeing that people get to come to a basketball game and they get to share a positive experience with somebody else that they care about is really cool that we just get to be a part of that for sure.
Yeah. So coach, let's talk about the other positions. You've held. You've been, video coordinator for a few years at Florida State. You've been, also video coordinator at Vanderbilt University. And then you got your start in coaching, as a graduate assistant coach at Mercer, which we'll talk more about. But, being video coordinator at Florida State and, Vanderbilt, just tell me about, those two positions. Like what did you do as a video coordinator?
Yeah. So as a video coordinator, you're helping with the scouting piece of things a lot. So you're
Okay.
trying to be a right hand or a left hand for the assistant coaches in particular, because the assistant coaches typically do kind of the bulk of putting together a scouting report. So an assistant coach, if you're doing your job as a video coordinator, they don't have to worry about the technology piece. So if their computer's not working the way that it's supposed to, or if their video clips aren't going over, or whatever it might be, your job is to step in and help them. And there's obviously a basketball piece too, where I go through and I categorize things of what offensive team is running, what defensive team is running. And so you try and help with both those things to make the assistant coach's life as easy as possible. And then whatever else the head coach needs there as well, you're trying to step in. So my duties were watching a lot of film and breaking things down. And I had a wonderful assistant video coordinator at Florida State as well. John Louder was his name. And so we would work together as a team to try and do everything that we can to make sure that our team was prepared there. So, but probably my biggest thing that comes to mind whenever I think about Florida State is that I got to work for Sue Semrau is her name. She's a Hall of Fame level coach. She is retired now. I think she's been retired for 2 years, maybe 3 years now. But she's just one of the best human beings I've ever been around. And she was an incredibly successful leader, got her teams to go out there and play at a really high level. My first year there, we made it to the Elite Eight. So, I mean, she was really coaching with the top of the coaches in the country there. But as good as a coach she was, she's an even better person. And so in everything that I do, I try and remember that, yes, we want to be successful and we want to do everything to help our team be successful, but being a good human being is the most important thing at the end of the day. And she really taught me that.
Yeah. So as I previously mentioned, Coach, you got your start in your coaching career as a graduate assistant coach for the women's basketball program at Mercer University in the 2014-15 season. So first, what drew you to become a college coach? And just how was the start, to your coaching career, at Mercer?
Yeah, Mercer is an awesome institution. I got my graduate degree from there, and um, for me, getting an experience of living in Minnesota most of my life, and then getting to move down to Georgia and meet new people who had some different life experience than I had, was a really good thing for me, and really cool to get to connect with different people there. So, for me, I've known since I think I was in high school that I wanted to be a college coach one day, which is a little bit unique because a lot of coaches just kind of decide after they're done playing that maybe they want to get into that. But for whatever reason, I've always kind of known that this is what I've wanted to do. And to me, so much of coaching is teaching. And so that's why I chose to get my undergraduate and master's degree in teaching because I think there's just a ton of similarities there. But had a great year and a half at Mercer getting my degree there and worked for Susie Gardner, who is still a great mentor for me. She has been coaching at Mercer, but she's coaching at the University of Florida now as an assistant coach there, and always a big supporter of mine, and really taught me what hard work looks like. I played at the Division II level, and stepping in to be a Division I graduate assistant was eye-opening because there's a lot of differences between Division II and Division I, and she, as well as the other wonderful assistant coaches there, taught me a lot, and so I'm really grateful for that experience.
Yeah. Coach, you mentioned you got your degrees, in teaching. So how, do your degrees in teaching, how do they help you as, head coach? And, at Mercer, what was it like, balancing both, getting your master's and, your coaching duties as graduate assistant coach?
Yeah, I would say organization. As a coach, you definitely need to know your X's and O's, but when you go to school to learn how to be a teacher, they teach you how to build a lesson plan for a day. Well, a lesson plan and a practice plan, there's a lot of similarities there. You have to think about groups, you have to think about your teaching points, you have to think about how much time do I need here, do I need there. So I would say that that daily lesson plan, as well as I kind of do unit lesson plans or practice plans for my team as well. And so that organization piece that it taught me is really helpful. When you go to school to be a teacher, they also teach you a lot about the different ways that people learn. It's natural for anybody to just teach in a way that is how they would learn, but just because I learn one way doesn't mean that one of my players is going to learn that specific way either. And so I'm grateful that my teaching classes taught me how to try the best that I can to connect with different types of learners. And you're going to have a bunch of different types of learners as players there for sure. So. And what was your second part of your question for that one?
Just balancing, your master's work and,
Oh,
being graduate assistant coach.
yeah, for sure. A lot of late nights and a lot of early mornings and a lot of coffee. Plus having great people around you. I was a graduate assistant with Caitlin Crescencia, who is now at Lehigh as the associate head coach there, and she was a great best friend, a great side-by-side graduate assistant. And so there are tough days when anybody's kind of getting into coaching, or you're doing the laundry, you're doing food orders, you're doing anything and everything that you need, and sometimes those things pop up at the last minute. And so it was definitely hard, and there were days that were really tough, especially being far away from family for me. But when you got somebody by your side like that and a great head coach and great assistant coaches, it makes it a lot easier.
Yeah. So coach, let's talk about your season. Your team's off to a, very good start, 3-1. So, starting 3-1, how would you assess the start, to your season?
Yeah, I think as a coach, you're always proud of the things that you're doing well, and you're always looking for those opportunities that you can grow. So really proud of our team with the effort and the focus that they've given so far this season. And I still look at our team and say, wow, we have so much room that we can grow at the same time. When a new coach comes in, it's a different style, it's a different culture, it's different ways of learning, it's different expectations, all those sorts of things. And our team has been really open and accepting of the ways that I'm trying to do things and implement different systems here, and I'm really grateful for that. And having a record of 3-1 is something that we're really proud of. But at the same time, we're really early in the season, and so we definitely haven't defined our season yet, and we've got plenty of opportunities to continue to grow and see how we can advance our team, and then see where our season takes us.
Yeah. And let's talk about, last night's game. It was your first home game of the season. So, what was it like having your first home game of, your season, last night? And just how proud are you of your team? They got a 72-38, victory over College. So, just tell me about having your, team's first home game and just how proud are you of your team, for getting the victory last night?
Yeah. Really nice to play at home. I think every coach probably in the world would say that playing at home is a good thing, and they enjoy doing that. It's fun for me to get to see our players' families in the stands. It's fun for me to get to see other teams and other students here at St. Olaf come out and support our young women. They put a lot of time into what they do. They care so much about what they do, and so it's really cool to see that support. And then yeah, nice to sleep in your bed the night before and not have to get on a bus and all those sorts of things. As well as I think we have an administration and a facilities team here that wants us to have a great experience, and so they do a great job with making sure that everything's prepared for us, and that we definitely have that home court feel when we're out there. So it was great to be at home, and I think our team came out with the right mindset last night. Sometimes people ask me what's my style of basketball, like what do I want my team to play out there, and X's and O's aside, in terms of specific plays, I always want our team to be unselfish and hardworking, and those are the two most important things to me. And I really think that our team did that last night in terms of coming out and being really locked into our defensive game plan. The other team that we played last night has a player that's averaging like 17 points a game. And so she was definitely a big focus of a player that we wanted to limit her opportunities. And so our team came out and had that hardworking mentality there. And then on the offensive side of things, I think we did a really good job of being unselfish. I think we found the next right pass, found the next right person. I talk a lot to them about we're not trying to play 1-on-5 basketball. We're trying to play 5-on-5 basketball the best that we possibly can. And last night they really embraced that. And a lot of different people got to do a lot of different things for us, which was really fun.
Yeah. Your leader from last night was Paige, senior from Wisconsin. She led your team with 17 points. Um, so she also had 4 rebounds and 3 assists. So just tell me, how proud are you of Paige, for being, your leader in points last night, and just, tell me about your team. Also how proud you were. They let, they had, they won the second quarter to 30-4. So just tell me about Paige's performance and overall your team performance, particularly in the second quarter, dominated the second quarter.
Yeah, really proud of Paige. I think Paige does a really good job of going out there and playing on both sides of the basketball. So last week she was the MIAC defensive player of the week, and then to turn around and have an offensive game like that last night was really cool, just to see her versatility and how many different things she offers us, whether that's on defense or offense. And I think Paige has a good basketball IQ. She's always out there and she's trying to read how are people trying to defend us, what are they trying to do on offense, and how are we trying to stop that. And so it's been really fun for me to get to work with Paige and to play with to coach a player that has that willingness to get out there and work hard, and then also that IQ piece has been really awesome there. So we hope she continues to play well, and she's certainly playing like a senior right now. She has a good amount of experience out there, and you can see that calm and that confidence when she's out there, and we hope that she continues to play that way for sure. So.
Yeah. Coach, so can you just tell me about the rest of your roster, just any notable players that you want to, touch on?
Yeah, I would really point to our senior class right now. So we have four seniors. Paige is one of them. We have Sophia Corman as well as Z Zen and then Sarah Tangen. Sarah's got a little bit of an injury right now, so we're expecting her back soon. But last night I thought Sophia Corman played really well too. Sophia is a very much hardworking, tough player. She wants to go out there and she wants the team to do well. And there's nights where Sophia goes out like last night and has 11 points and plays well. And then there's other nights where she goes out and maybe only has 2 or 4 points, but either way, if that point category is high or low, Sophia's out there and she's doing a lot of things that are really helping our basketball team. So we appreciate all that she's doing, and again, does a lot on the defensive end for us. And then with Z, Z's always out there playing hard as well. And same thing, that there might be nights where she has a lot of points for us, and there might be other nights where that number is not quite as high. But Z is 100% locked into being as competitive as she possibly can out there and doing whatever she can to help the team. So Sarah's had a good first 3 games for us too, and then unfortunately had the injury, but she should be back soon. And all of them, I think, are doing a really good job in leading us and setting an example for the younger ones on our team, and trying to get them to come along and be on the same page altogether, which has been really fun.
Yeah. Coach, can you tell me about, last night you had your first team's first, home game. So can you tell me about your team's home arena, the Skoglund Athletic Center?
Yeah, sure can. We're really proud of it. We think it's a great place for people to come and play within the MIAC, our conference, or even in our non-conference. Like we had games last night, and I think it has a really cool feel to it in terms of you walk in and it feels like it's tighter in there, which I really like. Sometimes you're in arenas and it just feels like there's a ton of open space, but really good atmosphere for sure. And last night, like I said, we had a couple of players from other teams on campus show up and a lot of families that showed up. And it was cool to have them there. And we're really proud of it. And I think our facilities team, as well as our administration, does a great job of maintaining it and giving us a great place to play and fun place to play on home game days.
Yeah. So coach, your next game will be Saturday at University of Minnesota Morris. So what do hope for your team, in your next game against Minnesota Morris, and just what do you see for your team, for the rest of the season, given your team has started 3-1.
Yeah. Yeah, Minnesota Morris will be a really good challenge for us. We're going on the road to their place, so that's about 3.5 hour bus ride, something like that. I believe Minnesota Morris won 17 games last year, and so they did have a few of those players that graduated, but they're very much an experienced coach who does a really good job there. They've got some height on their team as well, which we've seen a little bit this year, but not a ton. And so us knowing just what are the right options on offense and defense going against that height will be important for us there. So excited for that challenge and hope that our team continues to play well. And I always tell our team, win or lose, we try and stay steady and try and stay consistent and just continue to think about how we can get better at things.
Yeah.
And then going forward into the year, we're almost kind of towards our conference play, which is a little bit crazy. Things kind of go fast, but the MIAC is a great league. So we'll start that. I think December 4th at St. Ben's is our first MIAC game. Really great league. A team or a conference that certainly sends one team, if not multiple teams, to the NCAA tournament every year. Gustavus right now is kind of towards the top of that. I think they're ranked 10th in the country and does a really good job of setting the tone for our league. So it'll be really fun to see how we can compete and see how our team continues to grow. And we've seen so much growth already, and I'm excited to see what they can do the rest of the season.
Yeah. Coach, can you tell me about, growing up in Minnesota, how you got started playing basketball and just some of your, earliest basketball memories, growing up playing basketball?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, basketball was a big sport in my family, so it's my dad's favorite sport. He played noon ball at St. Mary's University down in Winona for about 34 years, something like that, 30 or 40 years. And so since he always loved it, we always spent a lot of time together, and I think that's kind of where my love for it stemmed. But we had some really good feeder programs there. So in middle school, I started playing right away, or late elementary school even, and just loved it. Just thought it was great and love how you get to play as a team. And had a wonderful high school coach as well that continued to help me grow and develop and knew from a young age, like I said, that I wanted to coach, but knew that I wanted to play in college too. And so to have multiple high school coaches that were really supportive of that and helped me with that was really awesome just to get that chance. And for me, I love basketball for a lot of reasons. I think it's super fun to compete. I think the game itself is really fun just to be around. But the people you get to be around is probably my favorite part. So even if it's old high school teammates, whoever it might be that you run into that you've had been on coaching staffs with together or whatever it might be, it's just so cool to me, the people that you get to meet and go out there and compete with.
Yeah. So you played at, you attended Winona High School. You're the program's all-time leading scorer, and you were a team captain your senior year. So just tell me about your time at, Winona High School. And what's it like, for you to be the program's all-time leading scorer, and just what was it like to be a team captain your senior year?
Yeah, one of the special things about your senior year, whether it's in high school or college, is the teammates that you get to be around. And those teammates that I graduated high school with, we had played together for maybe even 8+ years, something like that. And so you get to spend time with them, and then you get to kind of have that celebration senior season. But we have a coach, Tim Gleason. He's still the head coach there. Nobody believes in his players like Gleason does. Still to this day, if I like when I won my first game here, he texted me right away and said congrats and those sorts of things. And so to have a coach that believed in me so much and believed in our team so much and really cared about us has been really impactful. And so I feel grateful that I got to play for him as well as with so many great teammates there.
Yeah. Coach, you attended Minnesota Duluth for college. So can you just tell me about your time, attending Minnesota Duluth?
For sure, yeah. So Duluth is a Division II school way up north in Duluth, Minnesota, where it's freezing cold up there. For me, attending at Duluth was kind of a dream come true. To get a chance to play at that level against a really great competition. The Northern Sun Intercollegiate Conference is regarded as one of the best or better Division II conferences in the country. To get to compete night in and night out and see how good you can be was really exciting for me. And the experience up there was really cool just to see again how much support it got. So Duluth has wonderful hockey teams, and that's kind of what they're known for nationwide. But we also have a wonderful football team up there. Basketballs have had certainly some great years. 2 years ago, the UMD women's basketball team was national runner-ups in the country. And so really well supported athletic department and really enjoyed my time there. And I think it prepared me for a career in coaching as well.
Yeah. So for you, Coach, how special has this opportunity been, to lead the St. Olaf women's basketball program?
It's been awesome. Yeah, every day to show up and get to see how we can move our team forward has been really exciting. And I think the department here has been very supportive of me and trying to help our team move forward. But it always goes back to me to the student athletes and to get to come into a program and have such great people who really care about each other and who want to work hard has been really special. And as a coach, when you come into a situation, you don't know exactly what you're in for. That's just kind of the reality of it. You certainly ask questions and ask around and try and understand, what the program is like from the inside out. But I'm happy to say after being here for 4 months, 5 months, whatever it might be now, that we have great people in this program that really care about each other. And to me, any success that you have always has to stem from that. You have to have people who treat each other the right way, who care about each other, who want to do right by each other. And from there, you can do really special things on the basketball court.
Yeah. And finally, Coach, what do you enjoy most about being a college coach, and what have been some of your favorite memories throughout your coaching career so far?
Yeah. Whew. As a coach, probably the coolest thing is getting to see the growth. The growth is really special, whether it's on the court, whether it's in the classroom, in their careers, whether it's seeing somebody who's maybe a little shy their freshman year kind of blossom into being a little bit more outgoing when they're a little bit older. It's cool to see how people continue to grow. Probably the professional piece too really stands out to me. So sometimes we start talking to recruits when they're, 15, 16 years old, and they might say something like, hey, one day I want to be a doctor, or one day I want to be a nurse, or one day I want to be a teacher. And so getting to talk to them when they're really young and then see them actually going through college and then go out into their careers is really cool, just to feel like you're a really small part of that and get to see them live out their dreams is really cool. So